Parkland County is located west of Edmonton. It is focusing on energy investment diversification. In case you're wondering what that is, here's the mayor, Allan Gamble, explaining why it's important to his county. Hello, Mayor Gamble. Thanks for joining me.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today.
So you're hailing from Parkland County, which is west of Edmonton. I'm here in Halifax. So for those of us, that don't really know your area, tell us about your location and who you are.
Sure, I'd be happy to. We're a rural municipality. We're just outside of Edmonton. And we're comprised about 600,000 acres, and we're one of the largest and most populated of all the rural municipalities in Alberta. We are home to the Atchison Industrial Park that is one of the largest industrial areas in Western Canada. We're close proximity to major highways, the Edmonton International Airport, and direct access to the CN main line, making it an ideal location for business and logistics. We're a thriving community, a mix of industrial and commercial services, as well as we're a large agricultural producer as well.
Great to hear. And what I also hear is that your county is placing a lot of importance on energy investment diversification. Boy, I had trouble saying diversification, but why is it so important to Parkland County? Why energy investment?
There's certain things that are of primary importance to us in this region, and we recognize that as a rural municipality, certainly food security is important to us, but also equally important is energy security. And Parkland County has been home to energy production for the past 40 to 50 years, and we did transition away from coal-fired power to natural gas-generated electricity. However, at this point in time, we're looking at the overall energy grid that we have. And if we're truly going to invest in energy security and affordability, reliability, that we're looking at other options as we're trying to decarbonize as well. So as we move forward, we're looking at all opportunities to provide energy security for all Albertans.
That's really great. And I imagine you've done a lot of homework. I imagine this takes a lot of staying current, with advances in technology, because it's changing all the time.
Yeah, as global energy needs evolve, a diversified energy portfolio ensures the stability and resilience. Things like SMRs, small modular reactors, as well as full nuclear and micro nuclear, certainly may offer a promising option for provinces and regions that are looking to balance their energy mix with reliable, low-carbon alternatives.
Well, you mentioned SMR, and I know that would probably be helpful to economic growth and job creation to the area. But explain to the listeners, how could that happen?
Well, incorporating SMRs into a holistic energy strategy may offer regions another very viable option that could help future-proof their energy systems. It could help with reducing the dependence on fossil fuels and meeting long-term sustainability goals.
I would imagine it would be great for data centers as well, who were looking to locate into the area, perhaps.
There's certainly a lot of interest for data centers within Alberta as a primary target for a lot of those organizations that are certainly moving into the economy. And one thing that they do require is a lot of power, and that we need to provide the grid with the power to enable certain things like data centers as well.
And it has to be stable power as well. It can't be fluctuating. It has to be consistent and reliable.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that we do have with our natural gas-fired power. However, when you look at the other suppliers in the grid with wind and solar, those are not certainly stable and reliable. They do provide certain power advantages, but not the reliability that's needed for a real-time data center. So when we look at things like exploring the opportunities for nuclear, it certainly provides another opportunity to look at clean energy, but also the reliability that you just spoke of. Yeah.
Would this involve strengthening regional energy networks, creating some partnerships?
Yeah, at this point in time, looking at a transition or a move or an addition to something like nuclear, you certainly require all stakeholders to come together. And that's with your municipal levels of government, provincial and federal, as well as looking at your industry partners as well. And that can be local industry partners, provincial or international business partners. So we do know that there in Eastern Canada and specifically in Ontario, that up to 60% of the power is provided by nuclear facilities. So this is something in Western Canada that we're looking at an opportunity and bringing everyone together to learn and provide an opportunity to see what that future might look like for us as well.
Well, you said it right there. You said learn. And of course, as you were all learning, public education just becomes so important and in getting the community involved and dispelling a lot of the myths. So I would imagine that's part of the process you're going through.
That is certainly one of the parts of the process. And, nuclear energy often comes with outdated misconceptions. And, a conference focused on SMRs offers an opportunity to educate the public about the safety benefits and advancements that have taken place in the nuclear energy technology. So we do recognize that there are certain things related to the term of nuclear. However, we're certainly willing to explore the opportunities of all of the benefits with the mitigated opportunities that relate to safety. Yeah.
What about enhancing national and international influence? There's a lot of things happening, especially with technology. So do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I think when we look at, energy, we need to look at it on a global level. So we know that there's been tremendous advancements in areas in the world like Europe that have really caught on to the SMR technology and providing reliable and efficient and affordable power for the future. We know that nuclear certainly has a large upfront investment, but we certainly don't feel that there is a way that we look at long-term energy security without nuclear as being considered as an option for the future.
So in closing thoughts, I just want to ask, how did you guys get involved in SMR? Where did the idea come from? Was it something you've been tossing around for a long time?
Yeah, it's something that's been on, I guess, call it the back burner, but it's certainly been something that we've talked about with many of the regional municipalities within the Edmonton region. And the conference that we're looking at is going to be jointly hosted by Parkland County as well as Strathcona County, a good neighbor, friend, and business partner of ours. So when we look at, a place like Alberta that traditionally has not seen strains on our power grids. Last year, we did see a couple of occasions where we did have brownouts, where there was opportunities or there was challenges related to supplying the base load of power. So if we're at that stage and we want to recognize, or we will recognize, that the increased demand for electricity for general use as well as new investments and data centers, that the supply is going to have to increase substantially to meet the demand of the future. So when we look at opportunities, we certainly recognize the low carbon opportunities, but you mentioned it earlier that it has to be the reliable and stability of the power grid. And one of the opportunities that provides that is nuclear. And also, that you mentioned, it's critical that we look at educating ourselves. So we're certainly on the onset of that. And that's why when we're bringing all the stakeholders together, it's very important that we bring those who can educate us about the process of nuclear and what the technology is and what the various levels of full nuclear, small modular nuclear, and micronuclear looks like, and how that might incorporate into the landscapes that we have in our rural municipalities that exist along the transmission grids and proximate to the substations, that we provide that security for all of our residents.
One thing that really amazes me about SMRs, they can be the size of the imprint of a Costco parking lot. I mean, they can be small in scale and very safe because the industry is so designed to be super safe.
Yeah, the power that's generated from a nuclear facility takes up a very small footprint compared to many other sources of energy. And that is certainly one of the advantages that we're going to look at. And as well, learn about the ability for the nuclear waste that occurs and how that is dealt with. We know that there's been tremendous advancements in dealing with that, and we're excited to learn about what that looks like.
I bet. I mean, I'm really excited that you guys are taking this on board. You're creating new pathways and new horizons for your county. Is there anything that you want to leave with today? Just a parting thought.
I think it's, we're very excited that we're looking at being leaders in energy security. We recognize that this will position ourselves as a leader in clean energy, that we recognize the economic growth and job creation that could occur from this, and the strengthening of our regional energy networks, and building all of the relationships with all of the stakeholders. We need everyone to make something like this come to fruition for our region.
Thank you so much, Allan, for joining me today. And I know that you're going to be hosting, like you said earlier, with another county and an SMR conference. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, on March 4th and 5th, alongside of Parkland County, we'll be joining Strathcona County as co-hosts of the SMR Canada Conference on March 4th and 5th, right in Strathcona County. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So we're very excited to have those who are experts joining us, and we'll see local participation, business participation, municipalities, provincial partners, and also international partners. And we recognize the strength of making something like this happen. We need everyone from a global perspective to come together and share their knowledge and learnings that they have, and also the success that they've had related to this. So we're coming into it with an open mind to provide an opportunity in the landscape so that we can all learn and potentially move forward with something like nuclear energy in this region.
And it really puts Parkland County and Strathcona County on the map as leaders, or people who are definitely interested in this industry to grow it.
Yeah, it's critical. We look at ourselves right now moving away from coal-fired power and moving to natural gas. We recognize the abundance of natural gas in Alberta. But if we're going to look at long-term viability of the energy industry and how we can be stable, reliable, affordable, and clean energy and lower our carbon footprint, nuclear certainly is an area that we're more than willing to look at and understand.
What are you personally hoping to get out of the conference? What would you like to see or be educated on?
Yeah, there's many things. I think it's about the technology, the capabilities, the footprint that's required. How do we deal with the downstream waste of nuclear energy? And what is the opportunities and the time frame that we might be able to put something forth in Alberta? How this will impact the economy? What are the economics of nuclear energy? Well, the profitability aspects of it, and how does this provide success and energy for all generations?
Jen, I know that a lot of these conferences, they're hotbeds for networking, and you're going to be seeing a lot of international players, people across Canada and Alberta. Is there any particular group that you're hoping to really connect with?
For me personally, I think that it's the opportunity to learn. So we're blessed to have people coming in that have knowledge and education and skill that relate directly to the industry. So I'm very excited to learn more about it. We're at the ground level, so many of us don't have a lot of knowledge. So we're very excited to increase our knowledge base. And equally as important as you mentioned, is to look at the group of people who are going to be joining us. We'll be collaborating with other municipalities, with our provincial partners, and with our private industry people, as well as those who are coming to us from the international perspective. So it's about creating all of the relationships that are necessary and bringing all of the stakeholders together. So there's so much advantage to us holding something like this, and we're very excited to see how it goes.
So March 4th and 5th.
Correct.
Definitely. And people got to register and be great. Best wishes going forward for your county as well. And thanks for joining me today, Allan. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And I appreciate the opportunity to share how we're moving and about our conference that's coming up. So I really appreciate that opportunity. Thank you.
Well, how about that? Thank you so much again, Allan, for joining me today. I love how two counties are working together, like Parkland and Strathcona and Alberta, and they're seeking solutions and they're learning and they have an open mind on how they can reduce their carbon footprint. It's amazing. I'm your host, Maria McGowan. This is the Reimagined Energy Podcast, which is brought to you by the Smart Energy event, but also EventWorks, which is putting on the SMR Canada Summit. Take care. Bye for now.